This will cover stalemate. Stalemate is the position where the game ends in a tie. Stalemate is when one side has no legal moves to make on the board. Both sides in this position can stalemate the other side. This is a hypothetical chess position and is very unlikely to happen in a game. Maybe impossible. But remember, the white pawns are moving in this direction and the black pawns are moving in this direction. So this pawn, if it were able to go over here, if the king weren't there, it could make a new queen. And remember that pawns can't capture forward. They can only capture diagonally. And they cannot move diagonally if there's no piece there to capture. So right now it's white's turn, and we notice that this pawn cannot move forward because it's blocked by this pawn, and this pawn cannot move forward because it's blocked by this pawn, and this pawn cannot move forward. And so these pawns are almost all run out of moves. This pawn is moving this way, but it can't move because of that. This pawn's moving this way, it can't move because of the king. So the only move, there's only two moves that white can make legally. The first one is this, and the second one is capture. And now, because you can capture one square diagonally. If this were to happen, it would be black's turn, and black cannot make any moves. This pawn is blocked by this pawn is blocked by this pawn is blocked by this pawn, and this king can't capture this pawn because this pawn will capture it back, and the king can't move here because this pawn guards that square. If the king were to try to move here, this would be called an illegal move and it would not be allowed. So this position right here is a tie. So now let's look though, if it were black's move and black were to play capturing this pawn, then this would also be a stalemate again. So the first one, this is a stalemate and a tie. Right? This would also be a stalemate if the queen captured this pawn, because then this pawn would not be able to move. This king can't capture here because of this pawn, can't move here because of this pawn, and these pawns can't move either. So this would be a tie if the queen moved here. Now there is checkmate here, and it would be this if the queen moved here, because this would deliver check. The king can't move here because the king cannot move on its own pieces. The king can't move here because the pawn would capture it back, and the king can't move here because of the queen. So that would be an example of checkmate, but it's white's turn, so white plays this, and this is a tie.